All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother. Welcome to another episode of Talking That Talk Official podcast, where we are comfortable in uncomfortable conversations.
All right, what's good, world? I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X. Once again, we appreciate everybody for rocking with us. Hopefully, we have a great episode, bring up a lot of key points. So, tonight we're going to talk about what gives you power. Very, very interesting word that gets thrown around a lot. So, the intro behind the conversation would simply be a lot of people find power throughout different things. Some people find power throughout things that can be more so in a positive. Some people find power within things that can be considered negative. You have so many different levels and perceptions of this single word, where a millionaire or a billionaire can feel as though they're at the highest level of power. And then somebody can be in poverty and still feel like they have a sense of power. So power can be subjective, but it's all based on individuals and how they utilize these type of terms and what do they consider power. Some people consider money power, status, you know what I mean? It just really differs. So I figured it'd be an interesting conversation. But I would often say that how you define power as an individual can also define your character, the things that you find power in. You feel me? So that's the brief little intro into it. We can kick it off and then we can take it from there.
Awesome. I think today's subject was going to be very interesting because everybody has different things that give you power. For instance, the clip art, it said money, what gives you power, money, status, and it's basically one of those type of means where you can edit your last bar. And I put know thyself, right? I noticed a lot of people I've been studying who made it successful. They was like, well, I understood who I was as a person, and once I mastered that, a lot of success came my way because I no longer try to. Basically, I never tried to stay in areas that weren't meant for me and try to reign supreme in it. I just stick to things that I know I can reign supreme in. So it hit me
Mhm.
like that. So everybody finds power in different things. That was people explaining knowing each other. I know some people feel empowered when they feel love. Some people feel empowered when they feel hate comes towards them. It's the word. Power is very interesting. Even the instrumental I played today was "I Gave You Power" by Nas, and it was talking about basically a dude. The story is he's a gun, right? The whole time he's a gun, and throughout the storytelling, he's telling you what he's going through as a gun, and how people are feeling empowered when they rob, steal, or commit the most atrocities with a gun as their weapon. So, like I said, I do want people to check out that song, but not to be long with it. That's how I look at it. It's going to be interesting because even today, some people say, "Well, I feel power like when I get more acceptance." So, you know what I'm saying? This should be good.
Okay. Um, Great. And tapping in, it kind of has a similar relation to a point that I was going to bring up. Everybody has a vision, right? Everyone has visions, plural. But a lot of people don't pick their visions based on their strengths. Some people pick visions based on their weaknesses and wonder why they don't succeed and feel the same amount of power as if they would picking visions that's based on their strengths. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people may want to play ball, but they just may not be your strength. You know what I mean? Like you might have a strength that may be related to the sport, but that may not be your particular role. So a lot of people don't really tap into their full potential or power because their visions are not being centered around the things that they should be. So you should always find visions that cater to your strengths. Some people just want to touch everything, and that's not everybody's route. And even people that touch everything, they still was proficient enough or successful enough in one thing in order to be able to touch a multitude, right? So it's kind of like being too busy versus being effective. Some people feel empowered by being busy. Some people feel more empowered by saying, hey, what I do is effective. I don't utilize as much time as the next person, but my time is more effective and direct to my strengths. I'm not moving too much, but I'm moving in the right directions and capacities. So you always want to be empowered within that fashion. Build your visions based around your strengths, and you don't want to get caught up in the look of being busy. You actually want to live and be effective. You know what I mean? So, and another simple example, Denzel Washington's son, he gave a talk, and he grew up from a two-parent household where both parents was actors, right? He loved that. That was his first love. What did he do? He figured he'd pick a different route. Became a football player. Put many years into football, got injured, couldn't play football no more. So then he took that energy, put it into acting, and then became the person that he is today. So it's like sometimes you can learn lessons while you're en route by making mistakes. But at the same time, if you can just center everything around your strengths, we can save time and become more successful faster versus spreading ourselves thin. So wherever you want to take that.
Oh man, you said something I was already gonna say. You said being busy versus being effective. I had being busy versus being productive. Those are
Mm,
one of the biggest things that people are not zooming in on, right? I always, as I got older, I realized like everybody's being busy is not really being busy, right?
mm,
I had to, I had talked some, one of them good talking shit moments with one of my good friends. I said, in a couple of years, we'll see who's busy was really busy on a basis of being productive and effective. I was like, if what you're doing as being busy is not really catering to your strengths or making you want to get further than where you are, then you're just being tied down. You're not really being busy, right? So there's a thing where you're being busy to where you're being overwhelmed that way because that way you can never tap into your strength because everything's being suppressed by what you got in front of you
mm,
versus like getting things in front of you that you know you can get out of and make your exit ticket, right? A lot of people who always talk to me, they always, people, for some reason, I always tell people I don't have the answers. They're like, well, should I quit and just focus on my goals? Should I quit and focus on my passion? I like, look, bro, you got to find your meal ticket, man. For instance, one of my little homies named D right now, he's a medical student. He just graduated his minors in biology. He's getting his master's in home and healthcare. And he already says, like, man, I don't even know why I feel like I'm wasting my time. I was like, what do you like to do? He's like, well, I'm really good at interior decorating and interior design and stuff like that. I said, sometimes it's nothing wrong with securing yourself with a stable position to where you could pour what you make from that into something you love. You know what I'm saying? Don't cripple yourself on the route of wanting to be so stuck into your passion that it doesn't give you what you want at the same time. The empowerment comes from within, and also I want people to also look at the people you surround yourself with. Uh,
mm,
Sometimes the empowerment you're around is not empowerment; it feeds different parts of you, right?
mm,
I know sometimes a person they empower me, they're gonna empower me to make do some irrational decisions, versus if I get around some people who will empower me to do the right decisions. That's another thing. Empowerment it gets influenced by even the people you're around, right? You always look, man, where you are right now, we can take what we got and we can run this, we can run this city. A person
mm.
might be like, yeah, man, we can take what we got now and we can run this whole state. It's two different levels of thinking. But you got to be aware of what's empowering you to make a bigger decision and bigger, chances. That's one of the things I would like to say about that.
Cool, cool. And following up on what you're talking about, it ties into a point. You have long term and short term. A lot of people find power within having long term visions. Some people find power within having short term visions.
Mhm.
Sometimes that person with a short term vision can be a little bit more effective faster, right? And then sometimes the person with a long term vision can have more in abundance later. But that's not a guarantee to either side.
Mm.
The short term person sometimes moves at a faster pace. Sometimes the long term person is, you can have one long term vision and goal, but then you can also have another or too many. That's not still within the same capacity of catering to your strength. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is like, um, people can build a platform from the ground up and be like, all right, bet. The energy got to be focally on that particular platform. But then you have people that be like, all right, bet. Once we get it here, I already know what I'm gonna do next. And it's like, all right, fam, like your energy is being directed in multiple directions. Because if we don't do the short term work to get things to where they can be long term, then that other long term shit will never happen. So that's what a short term person can have a better advantage because they actually looking at every move versus sometimes long term. It can make some people be comfortable. It can make some people think they got more time to get shit done versus the short term person that's like, look, I gotta get this shit done tomorrow. I gotta get this shit done next month. 2 months from now, this is what I need to see. So I think you want to play both games. The long term game is always what's pitched, and I understand it, but sometimes that can weaken people because they'll procrastinate more. Or they're just, you know what I'm saying, bullshit within that process. So you want to see long term, but you also want to see the short term moves as well, because that's what's going to give you the work. You know what I mean? You don't want to think about building a pyramid and only focus on the apex. You know what I mean? You need steps to get to that top. So you want to do both. You know what I mean? So pretty much what I'm saying is be great, be effective, be powerful, but don't get ahead of yourself in that particular fashion until you're just looking too far ahead.
Oh man, yeah, that was good, man. I do like the chance you brought down short term and long term. I always had a mentality because I always been a long term thinker, right? I always tell people, look, you can be ahead of me right now, but the minute you slow down and feel accomplished, I'm on your ass. Now, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm a very competitive person, but at the same time, I understand it's just me against me at the same time every day. You from your procrastinations to your accomplishment. I know people who accomplish something they want to celebrate for a whole week. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, we gotta get back to work, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can always tell the difference between how people celebrate sometimes versus how people don't. Right?
Mm.
Some things fall on your birthday. Some things fall on your birthday. It's another day to you. Some things fall on your birthday. Nah, everything got to get canceled. I need reservations. I need this. Oh, yeah. To me, I'd be like, look, man, you know, the same people who gonna congratulate you on your birthday is gonna be there on your birthday, whether you celebrate it or if you don't celebrate it. Those are the people who are already locked into what you're doing. I do believe in the small celebrations do count, but never overwhelm it at the same time. You know, that's just like the people. We see that all the time on the Olympic runners on the track field. They get to look it up. They already thought they thought they won the race. Somebody stay locked in, zoom and take the first place. I'd be like, damn,
Right,
it
right,
took
right,
that
right,
1 second for you to
right.
look up and celebrate too quick, and now you just lost everything. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And that's one of the main things about being laser focused on hitting your goals too. Is if you're gonna look up, do not take your eye off the prize. You know what I'm saying? I remember one year I was running track. One year I was running track, man,
Mhm.
and boom, I got off. We was like in fourth place. I was
Mhm.
second leg, right? I got us to second place. I can hear somebody just breathing down. Like I'm feeling like somebody about to hawk me down. So I turn back for a quick second, and just that quick second, I start picking up my pace a little bit faster. You know what I'm saying? We finished that whole race in second, but it was funny because as I walked off to the side, somebody told me like, "Hey, you're never supposed to look behind you when you run.
Mhm.
You're supposed to stay focused." But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I picked my head up just for a quick second, and it alerted me to keep going. See, some of us look at things and get, you know, mesmerized by what's going on and forget that quick second could be the end of all. That's just like in stocks when you trade. Would you have that well, you have take profit one, take profit two. Take profit one might be more profitable than profitable two. But at the same time, if we get too greedy, be like, oh man, I think we can go a couple more points, man. So you take that out for prize, you lose that whole trade. So just be prepared to whatever you're doing in life and not take your head off of everything that you got in front of you. That quick split second, you can lose it all.
Cool, cool. Um, to not get too far away from that, I'll throw in another point. Upgrading and comfort. Um, two different sides of the spectrum, two different sides of the pendulum, but some people find power in both. Some people find power within making upgrades throughout their life, whether they get better things that are tangible whether they get shiny, flashy things, whether they get better vehicles. Some people switch locations, they move up. Some people find better counterparts. Some people find just better things to physically show that they're upgrading throughout their life. And within some circles, it's damn near imperative to have visual, tangible upgrades in order to fit within certain circles, right?
Mm,
And then you
mm,
have some people that always find power in comfort. Shit got to be comfortable. They put themselves in situations that they only know that they can master and handle at that particular moment. You know what I mean? And some people find power within that. So what's going to be more effective is based on, I want to say, you always want to do a little bit of both. But
mm,
a person broke it down to me, you know what I'm saying, in the past, and they were saying, hey, comfort is the devil. Whenever you're comfortable, you automatically need to shake something up. You need to switch something up. You need to do something different. Because if you're too comfortable right now, something's wrong. Life isn't upgrading. Life isn't changing. You know what I mean? So that's just like the whole thought process of adversity. Some people run from adversity. Some people run to it because the end results, if you handle it properly, can make you 10 times stronger. You know what I
mm,
mean? And then the upgrades come damn near automatically because it's like you want the upgrades, but some people just fall back and stay within their comfort zones. Now, if that makes you happy, that's fine. But oftentimes, a lot of people stay within their comfort zones and then they become toxic to the rest of the world because they chose to become comfortable. You know
mm.
what I mean? I know a lot of people that, you know, shit, some people think it's smart and they can be like, yo, I got damn near $1 million by living in an apartment. Then some people be like, yo, that's the dumbest shit you can do. People have comfort in both. But as long as you're happy not making those upgrades and you can be a productive person within society, that's fine. But a lot of people fool themselves. A lot of themselves play the comfort game, and then that energy comes out in different aspects in different ways. You know what I mean? So uh, one of the things within the flyer for this, it was money, status, and knowing thyself.
Mm.
So you definitely want to know yourself. You know what I mean? So me personally, comfort never been my best friend, so I don't look for comfort. I'm not saying I look for adversity and challenges all the time,
Mm.
but I always do look for upgrades. You know what I mean? So whatever you got on that, upgrades and comfort.
I like that, man. I'm a big person on upgrades. I do believe in upgrading your life as much as you can as possible. Upgrade yourself to your final form. Upgrade everything you can. Um, as a person for myself, when I upgrade myself, I let myself get comfortable with that upgrade because
Mm-hmm.
it can mean it's just a stepping stone because I know I want more. Right? Two
Mm-hmm.
things I always picture about is I want the luxury, I want the freedom, but I'm not stupid to deplete my money from getting both. Right? Yeah, some people who crave certain things so rapidly that just having it right now is good enough if they don't have it for the long run or later on in life, right? I forgot what a man said. He said it's better to live your day, uh, live yourself as a soldier than to die as a coward. One was like live yourself as a king for about 10 years to live the rest of your life as a peasant. So when he had said that, he was actually living a king type of lifestyle before he was about to do life in prison. Like, look, I got to live a life most people won't ever get to live. Of course, I'm going to jail for life, but at the same time, I'm not tripping. I was like, damn, what the like? Everybody doesn't mind, reaching that certain point, even if it jeopardizes their whole life. And I'm like, bro, I want both, but I can't jeopardize my life like that, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why some of these titles we live by, we call it out sometimes. We're like, calling yourself in a royal state of mind, that you must move in a royal state of mind. We don't know really people. We don't know too many people that was in royalty that was going to jail. You know what I'm saying? It was more of a prestige type of look, a power, a like-minded power type of thing that you came into power with a certain mindset, admirations, and goals. These are why people looked up to you at the same time. Um, Comfort, I never like every time I try to get comfortable with anything in my life, it just never fit for me, right? Uh, like for instance, like I love staying at the place I stay right now. But I was like, look, man, I plan on cracking some financial goals so when I upgrade at least where I'm at, or upgrade to a new facility because I'm all about expanding myself on a financial and social basis, right? Even set prices that they mark. I learned even set prices they market for everybody. They don't sell towards everybody. If they like you, they might give it to you for a different price. And it's funny that we always think everything that's marketed for everybody is for everybody, but it's not. Learning the loopholes and just the social things, whew, it gets your blood going once you understand life, you know? Like we said, play the game.
Cool, cool. Um, I'll take it somewhere else. Sometimes when a lot of people have conversations about power, when they just talk about power, people think about like rulership, authority, aggression, and all this shit, and war and money. But I don't hear too many people talk about love. I don't hear
Mm,
people put the same emphasis on love. You know what I mean? Because that's the most powerful thing on the side of fear that can possibly exist. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But love is definitely a powerful thing, and I think a lot of people stray away from that power because it involves too much vulnerability at the same time. And a lot of times within society, we're taught, hey, be a machine. Fuck your feelings, fuck your emotions. Don't even worry about that. But when we say, man, know thyself, you got to know all of you. You got to know the internal and the external, right? That love shit is part of it. You know what I mean? So people's ability to give love and receive love is mostly the biggest blockages that they have throughout their whole life, no matter how successful or unsuccessful they become. A lot of people can have those same blockages. You know what I mean? So some people like the love aspect within the family sense. Some people come from a family where it's a lot of love. Some people don't. Some people go out and create their own family and facilitate the love within that family. You know what I mean? People take different routes. Some people have real bonds with friends that's really built on solid foundations of love because those people actually give a fuck about each other. It's not easily turned on and off. Why? Because the foundation is genuine based on love. And then some people find it through philanthropy, which would be like charitable deeds. A lot of times people would say, look, I give within the capacity of building a relationship to where I could benefit from later. Reciprocity, the whole kind of like 48 laws of power type of mentality. But then you have some people that be like, look, I'm giving and I'm doing this philanthropy because it's doing something for me.
Mm,
Even if the people that I'm giving to can't give me nothing back. Just the feeling of me giving, I'm getting a high off of that alone. So you have different types of people. But I would definitely say people's blockages on love really fucks up a lot of shit for them, or it can make the world a perfect place for them. It really just depends on how much work you do internally, right? So everybody probably got like a broken child inside of them. Everybody got personal shit they never got over probably. Everybody got all type of traumatic relationships and experiences that they overcame, but not too many people actually take time to focus on that love shit because everybody focused on getting money. So that's my little swing on the whole power and love.
I definitely have to say does have power, man. You know, and somebody say, you know, that's why one of the things they said, would you rather be love or fear? Now, I know we did an episode like that at one point in time.
Hmm.
Love can get you into a lot of places, so can fear, but people do more things out of love than fear, depending on the situation that comes about.
Hmm.
Um, I'll tell you a story what happened to me today. I was going to talk about it afterwards, man. It's funny, right? I always say I got many mentors, right? One of my mentors hit me up today. You know, chopped it up with him for a little bit, and
Hmm.
I'm laughing because it was just a funny interaction, y'all. So we meet up at Starbucks, right? And we
Hmm.
do a quick little talk. He's like, "Hey, man, I seen your podcast." I said, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah, that was a nice suit you had on." I was like, "You know, I appreciate it." You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "You know what goes good with a nice suit?" I was like, "Accessories." What's that? I said accessories. Perhaps a nice watch. No, I said a nice watch. Perhaps uh, some good cologne. And he was like, "A good woman on your arm." And I was like, I started laughing. 'Cause I was like, "Oh shit!" So I already know what
I didn't see
time it
that.
is now.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
And I'm like, that too. So a mentor before basically told me, he was like, "Look, next dinner I invite you to, I need you to bring your girlfriend and not just a date." And
Mm.
it kind of hit me. I was like, yo, I'm showing up to these events. I'm making sure I got a date. I thought I'd be good. But he was just like, your girlfriend will be at the next. I was like, damn, all right. And then today, my other mentor basically picked me up and like, hey man, I need you to get in a relationship. And I'm laughing at the same time. I'm trying to figure out how I can dodge this, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how I can dodge this at all levels. He's like, and he was like, why you ain't in a relationship? He said, you better not tell me you too busy. You working too much. You don't have time for it. So like anything I can come up with, he's shooting all the excuses out for me. So the only thing I can do is just smile and laugh. But it hit me because I realized I'm getting tipped off at the same time. Like you get tipped off by certain people when certain things are about to happen. So I got tipped off, and I'm like, damn, man. So I got to really get a relationship. He was like, yeah, I need you to get a relationship. I was like, yo, well, how long I got to be in one? He's like, I don't care how long it is. At least do a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
He's like, at least do a year.
So I'm gonna do about 2 weeks and then I'm
Yeah.
done.
Hey, look, I'm trying to think of
It don't
everything,
matter.
bro. I was like, I need about a year. I said, well, usually if it'll go well in 3 months, and then I usually end it. He said, you're still a boy in that case. And I was like, damn. So he said, relationships are worth fighting for. If you're trying to tell me in 3 months, you know exactly what's gonna happen, I'll tell you exactly why I lost in my first marriage. And I was like, damn. So he made me look at relationships different. So this is how he ended. Like I said, I'm still giggling over this, y'all. So this is how I ended. Like as soon as he got up, he took a couple steps back. He said, "Relationship."
All right.
I'm like, damn, man. So,
Mhm.
so he's really like, this is one of the main points I like about my mentors, right? Those two mentors believe in absolutely finding the individual now. Don't wait till later on to find somebody. My other mentors be like, bro, you got all the time in the world. You're 31, bro. Just keep going out there, make yourself big, and then go get a woman. But the last two I visited are family oriented. So they see the power in doing stuff now and building yourself up with a woman than it is to give for you to achieve everything and then try to get a woman. Because then you know she's building for the long run or she's just trying to maintain what you already bringing. And I was just like, damn. But yeah, man. So that's why it's funny that you mentioned love, man, because like it's still on my mind right now. It was just hilarious. Like, damn, if that happened last month and then this happens this month, I'm like, all right, maybe you the voice is telling me something now. Maybe I need to go ahead.
Yeah, and see,
I'm about to say just for 1 year, man.
365, I'm done. All right. Weekends don't count, so yeah. Short of count. But yeah, so another reason why I brought up love, and I could kind of tie it into like the blockages and intimacy. Some people get blockages on that shit because they have problems with love. Like you might have problems with your mother, you might have problems with your daddy, your grandpa, your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, people within your family structure that fucked you up, that gave you trauma within trusting people or being vulnerable or whatever. So this shit is the energy that you carry for the rest of your life. So a lot of times you can fuck up opportunities, whether it's intimate or not, friendship or whatever, because you haven't fixed the issues within yourself that caters around love. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to wake up and think like the world is my oyster. And I know what it's like to wake up thinking like, yo, with that whole mentality, trust nobody, show no love, love gets you killed. We come from the street. You know what I mean? So you have that mentality and then you cross over into different type of people into another world and you're like, look, love is the foundation. This is what you got to do, this type of work to fix that shit to get you into better positions. And you can see the world different if you fix yourself and your love issues and your love problems. So a lot of times when you hear the music or the culture and it's like, fuck bitches getting money, what happened? Now the women is saying, fuck niggas get money. Now the whole energy is fuck you, get money. We're going to do everything else but fix ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? No families being built, families being destroyed, children still being born, though, by the way.
Yeah.
There's never a blockage on semen going into the poom poom and voila. There's no blockages on that, but it's blockages on family structures, things that happen within society because we don't fix our issues. To keep it further, what happens is a lot of times if we have fucked up love energy, what happens? You pass that energy down to people that's lower than you, younger than you. You're giving them fucked up counseling,
Mhm.
whether they're your children, your family members, whoever. You thinking you giving them game, but you fucking them up more because of your fucked up experiences that you never fixed. So
Mhm.
I ain't gonna stay on that too long, but there's definitely a power within intimacy. And what the mentors are trying to unveil, what I believe is that some men, well, it's not too many great men that existed that didn't utilize the feminine energy at the same time to become even greater. And that's why a lot of people run away from relationships because now it's like you got a business partner and an intimate partner and one, and they if they doing it right, they on your ass. Hey, look, you said you wanted to become this. What are you doing to make that happen? Okay, bet. 2 months passed. You was doing all this talking. Why you didn't put this in play? Why you didn't put this in motion? See, if you find that kind of intimate relationship, is nothing that you can't conquer, because that's the type of relationship that you need to be looking forward to if you're really trying to be like king status, queen status, or whatever. These intimate relationships should better you. That's where you get your power from. The
Mhm.
bedroom. You know what I mean? Who you share that
Yeah.
space with, right? And I think we made up an example in a previous episode, like maybe a year or two ago, where we were saying, like, look, you can tell your homie, look, do this, do that, do this. That's the play.
Right.
Whatever. When the female tells them, what do you do? Bet. Then come to you and tell you some shit like you never told them that information in the first place. But it took for it to come from the bedroom or the intimate relationship to have more impact. So
Mhm.
that's my whole spill on the power of intimacy. You can um, benefit each other at the right time and space to take each other even further. Right. So
Oh man, nah, that was beautifully explained. One thing I was gonna tell you about why it was so easy for him to leverage like my excuses of not being in a relationship because
mm,
he already like when you know somebody, you could just use what they say against them at the same time. Whether you like it or not, it's some of the
mm,
best ace in the holes. Right?
mm,
He was telling me like, "Hey, look, man, you told me every day like everything you do is not for you. It's to build the man that you need to be for your family, your friends. So." Did you have a date when you was gonna start with your family?
mm,
So that's something I never did pretty much label down to myself. Like, hi, I want to have a family at, I told him like at 27, 28, I was like, I'm not married, I ain't getting married no more. But that was just like, that was something petty I did like a long time ago
right,
when I was a kid. But
right.
it was funny because he was like, even your thinking like back then was kind of stupid. But like I said, if you're working and building yourself towards a family, certain goals, some aspirations, he was just like, why don't you just start that now, right? I'm
Mm,
not saying your family's gonna happen within the same year, but you
right.
should go ahead and start the dating processes of really trying to settle down with somebody to know how far it can go. He
Mm-hmm.
said if you still have short-term relationships with women, you still never accomplish nothing long-term. So it
Mm,
was like I said, the way he was getting in my the way he was talking to me today, like I couldn't say nothing. Like I was literally just smiling and laughing and giggling. Like he had a counter for anything I was about to say. So when he got up and hit me with that relationship, he was letting me know, like, yo, you about to reach a certain level where when you get in a relationship, it might help better you than it is for you to
mm,
keep doing things on your own and might be laying. Well, he said this. He's like, but what it is that like randomly laying with different women, just having sex with, you're gonna really want somebody you can have for yourself. And I
mm,
was just, damn. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of my excuses, like, come on, man, I thought I had like 4 more years. I'm only 31. So like everything I try to throw out, he just like wiped it off the board. But yeah, there is definitely power within it. I guess, I can say for myself, I always said, look, if I can find a woman who doesn't slow me down, who can get on board, I can definitely build a relationship with her and just take off from there. But at the same time, it made me think now after we watched, I'm like, bro, have I actually been looking for that or I just been saying that shit? So, like I said, it's just when things just have a repeat back the month before to the month now, and these are two different men who don't even know each other in two different fields. It's like, okay, maybe they seeing something that I'm not seeing, but I don't mind taking advice at the same time.
Right. In the spiritual world, people will be like, "Yo, the universe trying to tell you some shit,
Yeah,
man."
yeah, you were trying to tell me
Okay,
something.
listen. Yeah, I mean,
It's that
but
one dude
definitely,
was like, nah, man, the spirits don't be talking. He walk outside, get hit by a coconut or something, bro. He's like, we heard you, nigga.
coconut milk crack. You like, yeah, yeah, I know what that means.
I
Yeah,
said,
so another thing I can talk about that people get power in is manipulation and seduction. Some people spend so much time in the realm of seeing who and what they can manipulate that they get lost in that shit.
mm,
And once again, they have blockages with love and things like that because you've been pushing this manipulation energy so much. It's hard to believe that somebody could be genuine with you, or is anything genuine within the world. So manipulation and seduction is a lot of times it's often praised within today's culture and society. Like, you know what I mean? Like if people talk about hustling, you're gonna have music that's gonna say, "Hey, run off on the plug." You know what I mean?
and he
What
was
can
there
you
to help
steal?
you.
You know what I mean?
He's there to
It's,
help you.
it's everything is about manipulation. You know what I'm saying? You listen to the music. If it's more so feminine based, it's like, okay, sometimes if it's toxic, like what can they get out of a nigga tricking and all that shit? It's a lot of manipulation, a lot of seduction being taking place. And what seems to happen when people manipulate so much, it's like they forget that you forget that you're not being yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes if you put on so many different hats, play so many different roles, it's like you forget who you are within that same process. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm,
So you always want to be transparent or genuine at some particular time and space because it's always going to be situations to where that person got to come out and deal with real life situations. That person got to come out eventually. You know what I mean? So a lot of times people just, like I said, you have a 48 loss of power type of thinking to where people think you can just manipulate and seduce your way to the top 100% of the time and everything's just going to be good and gravy. That shit don't happen all the time. You know what I mean? So a lot of people will be more poised to learn that before they learn like the 42 laws of Ma'at, something
mm.
dealing with love, peace, balance, and shit like that. So I would just simply say like you definitely don't get caught up in manipulation and seduction. And another part of being manipulative is some people talk too much. And sometimes these people that talk too much that's good at manipulating people actually have like cognitive dissonance when the shit don't work for people. Like, you know what I mean? It's like some people be like, how dare you listen to what I say? You know what I'm saying? Some people like, I'm just supposed to fast talk you and that's just supposed to work. You actually listen to every word in the sentence. Now you repeating my sentence back to me? Fuck you. Because some people are so used to the shit working, the charades working. You know what I mean? So you definitely have to be aware of these type of people that always want to manipulate and seduce their way, always look for an easier pattern, always look for a shortcut. You always want to get into relationships to where it's give and take. You know what I mean? Some people just find power. You know, like I said, I come from the hood. I know men that find power within being men and actually producing or protecting, providing, or just showing love. And then you also have other men that find power in like, look, I talked this woman and let me live here for free. I drive her car.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
That's my power. Shit, you know, I'm good. I'm taken care of. I know how to manipulate my family, and that's women and men. It's a lot of people out there that just know how to manipulate their way through our life. I ain't got to work to pay for my bills and shit. I know how to give people a sob story. You know what I mean? Until somebody gonna give me this money, and then they
Emotional,
build a career off being a
emotional,
fucking manipulator and a bullshitter. You know what I mean? So
emotional.
that's my take on that, man. Don't find power in being a manipulator, right? In that sense.
Oh man, sure. I don't even know what to say after that, man. It was hilarious, but true, man. It's like the power of manipulation, lies, and seduction. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite things out of art of seduction. He said, um, you. It was a certain type. You can't seduce certain people unless they have imagination, And I realized, yo, that's really true. Right?
Right.
The more logical a woman is, seducing. That's too much work. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But the ones who always dream wildly, oh, those are the easiest ones. Because if you know how to use your voice uh, in different tonalities and talk with
Mhm.
emotions, you could hook anybody into that stuff, right? That's why, what do people say, art of the sale at the same time is just,
Mhm.
asking questions, Socratic selling, asking questions to give them the answers that they want. Even
Mhm.
that itself, I would say, well, they say that's persuasion. I also say some stuff is just pure manipulation.
Mhm.
But man, I would say just really be careful on that, right? You can only manipulate people for a certain amount of time before words comes back around,
Mhm.
right? For instance, I know men and women who believe labor the upgrades in their relationships, right? Then you hear from the other side, it's like, yo, this nigga did upgrade shit.
Mhm.
She did what? No, she didn't do that. Like one of the biggest things you have right now that's going on with 50 Cent's ex baby mama. She's still talking about I made 50 Cent. Yeah, when he got shot 9 times, I cleaned him up. I did that. I made him. I'm like, yo, you was in a relationship with the man, baby. Like this what comes with it, right? Because other people making comments with like, bro, you talking about he was only rapping and he was only doing this. Why'd you give him a kid, right? And now you feel like because you birthed his child, you're supposed to be taking care of your whole life. I feel like that story is crazy itself. Like especially the manipulation on both ends of his son and the mother. You can 100% see the manipulation from the mom to the child to 50 Cent. Like you can see that you can see that 100% from when 50 finally decided to air it out. Like yo, here's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's not authentic, I would say do not even do it. Like genuine relationships help you get you way further in life than it is an ends to a means to a favor for a favor. Like I said, y'all heard me before. I said I offer extended hand. What is extended hand? A genuine relationship, a favor for a favor, or ends to a means. I understand everybody doesn't look at making relationships long lasting
Mhm.
or on the basis of you got to contact them. There got to be some type of fair exchange. So just understanding the game is just operate exactly how you want it to be played. So
And I think that can tie into one of my next points. I only got 2 points after
okay.
that. But sex alone. I know some people in relationships, like oftentimes in relationships, women, sometimes they only have power within the bedroom. Like if they can't sexually dominate in that space, a lot of people don't know what to do after that, right? A lot of people that's their comfort, knowing that sexually, boom, I dominate this person, give them ultimate pleasure, bet they mine, I got them. Some people are actually raised like that. You know what I mean? Some dudes is raised, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, put in work, lay that pipe, you gotta, hey, that's it. Well, some women is raised the same way. You put the boom, 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 boom. You can control them, you can manipulate, you can do this.
Get his
But
money.
what but what happens when that's not the dominant power that you have with that person? A lot of people feel out of place, even if they trying to be in love with the person or build a relationship. If they can't dominate within that particular space sexually, they feel like they can't trust the relationship because they don't have no type of leverage sexually. So some people limit love. They don't want to be honest, but they limit love really with the sexual dominance, and they don't want to be honest about it.
Mhm.
Some people can feel uncomfortable if you, the person that's getting dominated sexually within their relationship, you just can't trust this person because they got too much over you. That shit too good to be true. So now you just gonna fuck, you gonna self sabotage. You know what I mean? So it's so key, like just getting older and looking at relationships, like how big a role that sex plays into relationships and how powerful it can be. Now, people that's mature that can think past that shit, utilize that energy, transmutate that energy, because you have laws of transmutation of energy and sexual energy as well. They can use that shit for a greater good. They can look at it like whether it's a ritual type of thing or whatever the case, but if you're looking at it in your immature, some people are so devalued in relationships and personally, the only thing they can give is poom poom and a dick. Kevin Samuels talked about this shit a lot. You know what I mean? You had guys call the show. Yeah, I'm dating this woman. She's so combative. She this, she that. I'm, the only when we had sex, you know what I'm saying? That's the only time we get along. If we ain't having sex, she arguing, she fussing, bet. What she got going on? She in school for this. She got a degree in this. She making money. What you do? I'm an Uber driver. And you like, nigga, that's the only thing you can't dominate nowhere else but the bedroom. That's why you having so much chaos in your home, right? So that's just my last close off on the whole sexual thing and the power behind that. And then I'll close it on the last.
Oh man, I'll make the statement. I was actually watching that episode today.
Mm-hmm.
The episode's called "Men Should Pay for Everything." Be
Mm-hmm.
hypergamous. Brother said, "Look, the only way you dominate is in the bedroom. You don't dominate in nothing else. So all you got is dick game because your social life sucks. Your job sucks. Oh my God! Hey man, that man should still be alive to this day, man. I don't care what nobody says. I still listen to that man every day. But it's a lot of things into that, especially when it comes to sexually,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, Even to a point, I feel like the way some people compliment themselves sexually is actually like, to me it would be degrading, but to them it sounds good, right? I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever had a chick told you her coochie was toxic, and she thought it was a compliment, right? You know what you getting into, you know what's up, da 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 da. It's good, but it's toxic, and I be in my mind, I be like, yo, shut the fuck up. And I just never understood like the way some people talk about sex sometimes. It sounds like bragging rights. It sounds like complimentary. And then I'm looking at it like, yo, only the lowest level of niggas is gonna take this and run with it, right? People in their right mind will just look at it like, all right, I ain't fucking with it.
Yeah.
But
Next.
yeah, next. You know what, bro, I be laughing my ass off. Like I always say, look, when it comes to cracking the ice on sex, I prefer a woman to crack it because then it's open seasons after that, right? Or, but
Mhm.
I do understand flirtatious behavior and that. Then it can be cracked like that as well. But if, like you said, if your only thing is basically based on sexual performance and stuff, you get used and put on a hanger in seconds and minutes. Right? It's chicks that say right now, bro, I only call that nigga for dick. Like, and you know what? Some men are actually proud of that shit, bro. That's the crazy part. Some men are actually proud of that.
Mhm.
Like just think about it, like you're getting used for dick, and then you gotta leave. Oh, don't need it. Get out. Yo, I mean, at some point in time, bro, you should never want to feel like you could be thrown away, bro. Like,
Self-esteem go a long way. It go a long way, literally. Yeah.
don't need it. Just throw it away.
Right.
But yeah, man, and another thing about when it comes to sex, bro, you become more powerful when you realize you can't have sex with everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dick control, dick discipline, all the things we talk about. The
Mhm.
more people gravitate to you actually when you have self control than it is for you to be loose. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I know back then, I had like a toxic line back then when I was younger. I'd be like, yeah, tell your friends about me. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
was just on some arrogant shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a competitive dude when it came to the bedroom. But as I got older, if I crack a joke, it's more on the basis like, but somebody's you gonna want to keep me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not meant to be spread out to the how it once was. Like yo, just tell your friends about me because if they get them interested, I can hit them too. Then everybody, it shit gets stupid. It gets played out, bro.
Right.
But
One of my last points be like being negative, right? Some people find power in just being negative. I had like an old supervisor. She was like, "Look, when I walk into the room and I know everybody in that room hate me, they get quiet because they don't know if I'm gonna snap on them. I love that shit." I was like, "This bitch is crazy," but man, know thyself. She knows that's her niche in life, being a bitch. So
hey,
some people maneuver through our lives just seeing what can I fuck up, what can I destroy. That's where they find power, knowing that they have that type of impact to fuck something up. You know what I mean? It can be a conversation, it can be a relationship, a business, whatever. they whole vibe is be combative, and I'm gonna see if I can fuck this shit up. You know what I mean? That's sometimes the only energy that can tap into, which can be the easiest. The easiest thing you can do is be negative. That's very fucking easy.
Jeez.
It's a little bit harder to be positive because it takes a lot of channeling energy, working on yourself, maybe biting your tongue, compromising, looking towards the future, looking short term. That's a little bit more work. It's easier to just be like, well, I'm gonna just quit on life and I'm gonna just be negative to everybody else. Fuck it.
Mhm.
Okay, bet. You have a lot of people like that. And it's crazy that in life, a lot of people kind of have this kind of connection towards trauma versus things that are positive. That's why I brought up love earlier. You know what I mean? Like, first off, you gotta love yourself in order to be able to love anybody else. So if that shit ain't happening right, you're gonna have a little bit more power within being traumatic and negative because you haven't took the steps to like supersede that shit to get out of that space. So I see a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like it don't take but a second to see an old person going in the building and open the door for them. That's simple. It take a second. Some people like, fuck that person. That ain't my grandma. That ain't my grandpa. Fuck him. I don't know that nigga. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to just keep going about your day. You know what I mean? One person did a podcast and he like, look, I see a person stranded on the side of the road. I can't help but to pull over. That's gonna fuck with my conscience if I pass them up and they just on the side of the road. You actually got people that think like that. You know what I mean? In what ways they always thinking, how can I benefit society? How can I be positive? And you have some people that's always fucking negative, and that's where they thrive, right? And don't let them be successful at the same time because they're like, this shit works. Being selfish works. You know what I mean? Some people actually feel like that. If I keep all my resources, all my money to myself, and I only focus on me, and I say fuck the world, I get somewhere faster. I'm just being real. I know different types of people, so these type of people exist. So that's my closeout on people just being negative and traumatic and being powerful and that shit.
Well, quick law: avoid the negative, avoid the plague. That's the best thing I can tell you when you go through this life. If you avoid the negative people, you can have a more empowering life. But I would also say sometimes learning from negative people will empower your life at the same time. Observing their actions or how they treat people and why it's uh, catastrophic to catastrophic to the people
Uh,
that's around them is one of the reasons why you can make better choices, right? You have people, for instance, one of the most negative things right now that's been in my lifetime right now, even before time, was the negative outlook on how police treat black people, black individuals, right? African Americans. Then you have people who go on the inside like, yo, let's recorrect the system by going on the inside. You know what I'm saying? So those are other ways you can also correct negative behavior by becoming part of something that can give it a
mhm.
different type of outlook and an image. You know what I'm saying? But that no matter if somebody's like, yo, you can never join the system in order to change it. We've also seen changes happen within that system at the same time. So you just got to be careful on who's giving you the advice to know if it really works or it doesn't work.
Yeah, and just tapping in on that, I think that's the only way to change it. You know what I mean? Like if you think about the reason culturally people say, yo, black people's movements never prosper and succeed is because they always get infiltrated by the enemy. The enemy is not saying I'm gonna start another organization to counter that one. Nah, they're thinking, how do I get in there and now I control it? If you look at America, the way they play chess is I'm gonna give you a problem, then I'm gonna give you a solution, and I'm gonna play both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the only way you change shit is if you get in that particular space, right? Some people even look at it on a business level. Yo, when a company does some racist shit, black people feel offended. If that shit is a public company, black people should buy so much stock within that company, you can vote the people out of that company that you feel like was racist.
Mm-hmm.
You put your money where your mouth is, right? But I say sometimes like put your money where your heart is and where your mind is and where your struggle is, right? Because those are the things that you're working on and that you're trying to change. So that's the only way you change a world that's run off capitalism. You play that game. You don't create a different game to combat whatever you feel like you facing injustice in. That's the only way you do it, is if you get in that system. So it's all
Oh, no,
good,
definitely. I mean, a lot of things can be. Some things can be won by protesting, but majority can't. I remember during the run, they had found out Chick-fil-A had donated some money to Donald Trump. Yeah, people like we're gonna boycott Chick-fil-A. I read a comment. He's like, man, I'm not boycotting them chicken sandwiches, man. I was like, what the fuck?
man. Hey, and look
You know
though,
what I'm saying? Like,
and
no,
look,
man, we ain't boycotting them sandwiches.
you gotta be logical though. If you boycott these sandwiches still gonna sell.
It's still
So
gonna
now
sell.
you got to regroup because boycotting ain't gonna work in that space because they money is automatic.
Boycotting and
They print
protesting.
money regardless. So
Bro,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, bro? They get they employees off on Sundays, man. That's what people really want. They want to be off on
Sunday.
Sundays.
So
Man, you ain't stopping nothing, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That grilled market salad with the cilantro lime
I
dressing,
look at you. You ain't boycotting shit either.
cilantro lime dressing, that spicy grilled deluxe,
You ain't boycotting either, man.
wheat
I know I see
bun,
you over
gluten
there.
free. Yeah, I
You
know my
say
order.
gluten free? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
gluten
no.
free.
We're
Yeah,
gonna get it back. Hey, turn that
uh,
on to some Chick-fil-A
yeah,
today, man.
yeah, yeah. We go to Chick-fil-A tomorrow, man. Yeah, but yeah. We can wrap that one up, man. What gives you power? Great episode. Uh, yeah. You ain't got nothing else?
Oh, nah, man. That's it. That's it, man. What
Cool
gives
dude.
you?
Cool dude.
Oh, man. I guess I asked you this. We'll end it off on this question. How do you
Hmm.
transfer power?
Transfer?
Yeah. How
Like
do
in
you
what
transfer
space?
power? Like the power that you have, how would you transfer that energy for somebody else to understand it?
Um, in a personal space, I would say be more transparent, do more work within self. And communication just really gotta be like a fundamental of it. Like a lot of times me inferring that somebody else know what I mean or know where I'm coming from or know what I'm trying to say. Or I can't feel too empowered that I can't like explain myself to people. You
Mm.
know what I mean? That's another problem that can easily be avoided. I just gotta come at everybody like we are level. You know what I mean? Like whether we are or we not. And given that kind of communication, that kind of respect, hopefully the power is because I don't want relationships to where I have majority of the power and I'm dominant all the time. You will never progress throughout life like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And given a quick reflection of that, over the weekend I had like a family member that I kind of put in a status to where I idolized them, you know what I'm saying, for majority of my life, but they had a real huge shortcoming within their life, real huge. They fell off for a couple of years, lost a lot of respect for them, got very disappointed in them. But throughout time, I was like, all right, bet, fuck them. You know what I mean? Because when a bounce back game came, I didn't get the contact. You know what I mean? So I took it personal. Now, what happened in my personal life, real quick, is that I had my own shortcomings and I let people down that looked up to me.
Mm.
So me becoming eye to eye with that person, it's like, as much as I want to resent you for letting me down, I know what it felt like to fall shy within myself and let other people down. So now we are level on this particular level. You know what I mean? So, and it still go back to communication and reconciling relationships. So I would just simply say communicate, see people at eye level, and work within yourself, and then you won't be as judgmental as how other people like. Their life is their story, and sometimes if their life is a part of your life, it becomes part of your story. But you can't be so subjective and biased to people's story because you have a story as well. So that's hopefully that answers the question on how I look at the power
No, yeah,
share.
that was good. That was good. That one wasn't one of the moments I'd be like, bro, that didn't answer shit. It was really you answered it. That's good right there. We can end it right there, man. Where can they find us, man?
Hey, find me in the hood, man. But
For
nah,
sure, for
so if
sure.
you follow us individually, yo, up top, bro, that's no ordinary brother. I'll go by the name of King Exodus. Follow us both. We have our YouTube link within our bios. Subscribe to the channel. Continue watching as we give you content, man.
All right,
Yeah.
y'all. Peace. Have a great night.